Hello. Does it make sense to look for life on Miranda? Miranda is one of the most fascinating icy moons in the solar system. It belongs to Uranus. And here are some moons of Uranus. Miranda is very close to Uranus, and it's not a tiny moon, but rather a smaller moon. First, some general properties, and then again we will take up the life discussion and how it applies to Miranda. Gerard Kuiper discovered Miranda with the 2 meters telescope at McDonald Observatory. Here's a picture of Kuiper. We know him from the Kuiper belt, of course. Miranda is a half-warm moon due to gravitational influence of outer moons, mainly Umbriel, which is a lot larger than Miranda and has 3 times the time to go around Uranus. Miranda has 472 kilometers diameter and is relatively bright because it's icy, and it's slightly non-spherical because its size is just on the border where bodies start to be spherical, but Miranda is a little bit too small for that. It revolves around Uranus in a bit more than 1 Earth days, and its orbit is slightly tilted, which is special for moons of Uranus and for moons of the giant planets. Its mean surface temperature is just 60 kelvins. And it has these special geological features, the corona, that look like racetracks. So people say it has been destroyed and reformed, but this is not clear. And some people think it has been hotter in the past in the inside. We will talk about that in a minute. But I have to caution because there are not many good images yet. It was just Voyager 2 passing by in 1986, accidentally very close to the moon, but it hasn't seen the full surface. And there was a project to look at it more closely, but it has been cancelled. And it would have been there 2044, so before that we won't know more about Miranda and the other moons of Uranus, which is a pity. Some of the geological features can be seen here, these racing tracks that are called corona. And there are different explanations for that. We don't know yet which one is true. The moon could have been destroyed and set together again, although I think that's not very likely. There could have been upwelling by something warm coming from the core, or it could be slush that was warmed after meteorite strikes and then frozen again. But I think these 2 explanations are more likely than the first one. And people have tried to make models of the inside of Miranda. They say there may be a solid core and a liquid ocean, and then the ice, less brittle ice and more brittle ice. But actually we don't know if the liquid part is still liquid. And the comparison with, for example, Enceladus is difficult at the moment because we don't have so much data yet. Only a part of the planet, of the moon, has been imaged around the pole. And this is the cliff which has inspired people to think what happens if you jump down the cliff. It would take you 12 minutes to fall to the ground. It would still be devastating, but yeah, the gravitational gravitation is so small that it would take you almost forever to fall down this cliff. It's 20 kilometers high, which is a cliff of a cliff. So, to summarize, we don't have many data about Miranda, just its south pole has been imaged, and there should be a dedicated Uranus probe at some stage. Not just because of Miranda, but also because of Uranus. It's a highly interesting planet, and we don't know much about the inside of Uranus either. The surface hints on, let's call it, interesting processes in the interior. Which processes we don't know, but they're for sure dynamic and interesting. Is the ocean still liquid, and are there maybe plumes? Because if there are brittles or crevasses, there could be plumes if the inside is still liquid. And there's possibility that the ancient Miranda was more active than the actual Miranda, probably due to more eccentric orbit in the past than now. And this is an image by James Webb Space Telescope in the infrared. Here is Miranda. Thanks a lot for the attention.